Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have some massive news coming out of the LCS. This is regarding CLOUD9 and their 2022 summer roster. Now, I had been considering, and I was either going to make it maybe today, maybe tomorrow, a news or a video kind of talking all about C9's roster situation, specifically in the mid lane, because C9, over the past couple of days, they started tweeting out all kinds of rumors, all kinds of bait. We had one guy with CLOUD9 tweeting out pictures of Niski in a C9 jersey. We had some people tweeting out pictures of C9 Jensen. We had some people tweeting out stuff about Random and like all random, all mid, talking about Random, the mid laner from the Spanish league that apparently they were looking at. There was just so much different stuff going on. There was so much different bait, and no one really knew what to make of it, but it definitely seemed like an announcement was coming soon. But now we have word. Again, this just came out about 11 minutes ago, something like that. So I'm super excited to talk about this right away. I love the offseason, and I love getting to breaking news, and that is this. Alejandro Gomez, this guy has had a crazy ride. This guy was part of the upcomer layoffs where he got fired, laid off, whatever. And I know he's been trying to bounce back. He's been trying to, get back into the reporting game. He does an amazing job. He has a lot of great sources. He's on top of so many different stories. This guy is truly one of like the great people in the scene and does great work. But he put this out with Blix.gg. Sources, CLOUD9 is set to sign Jensen. Now, this is very surprising, and this was crazy. I mean, on some ends, it's crazy and surprising, but some ends, it makes a lot of sense. I know there has been a lot of discussions where people were talking about, Jensen and C9, and I've said some of this as well, but I've also, kind of came to the realization that it didn't make a ton of sense. I've talked about how Jensen was one of the people very critical of the systems, and he was memeing on, CLOUD9 systems and all this stuff, and he's a guy who has had negative effects of CLOUD9 systems. He was one of the guys who got benched. He was one of the best players in the LCS, one of the best players in the West, and he was still having to like share time with Golden Glue, and he was having to get benched and watch his team play, and they were talking about motivation issues and wanting to be a part of C9 and everything they have going on, yada, and he's joked about it, he's memed about it, but at the same time, he has said a lot of great things about CLOUD9, and the other day, somebody sent me a clip where he said that, hey, him and Jack still have a good relationship, that there's no hard feelings, there's no bad blood. He also has recently came out and said on Double Lift's Trash Talk podcast that Blabber was his favorite jungler that he's ever played with. So a lot of this made so much sense. We knew that Fudge was going back to the top lane. Summit's either getting kicked or retired or going back to Korea, getting sold off, whatever. So yeah, I mean, that was going to obviously mean that a lot of shifting and a lot of moving around was going to be going on for CLOUD9, and what great mid laners are there out there? I know Wooloo, and this is the other crazy thing, that Wooloo in his report didn't say anything about Jensen. Wooloo is also very great at getting news, getting stories, all this stuff, and he didn't, I don't think, mention Jensen in his article. Maybe he did, but I don't think so. I thought he was talking about Random and Copy and guys like that. So it kind of is catching a lot of people off guard. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, Jensen is a resident. He's coming off last year at Worlds, just an amazing performance, and I think this is going to be insane for CLOUD9. Again, last split, they were a great team when Summit was popping off, but obviously down the stretch, as Summit struggled, the team struggled, and one of the big criticisms was that, hey, this team doesn't have a bunch of threats. This team, Berserker doesn't really dominate the lane phase. He doesn't carry the early games. Fudge is like a solid mid laner, but he's not a carry threat. And Summit has a small champion pool, and he's getting exposed. But now all of a sudden, they have Fudge in the top lane, who, if you just take Summit on like his 3 or 4 best champions, and you take Fudge, on his 3 or 4 best champions, Summit's probably better. But what about when the other team starts banning 2 or 3 of your picks and they start countering you and they start doing all these things? Fudge has a much broader champion pool, and overall you could definitely make the case that Fudge is a better top laner overall than Summit. I mean, look at the playoff series Summit just had. In 6 games, this guy, he went like 1-8, like 4 or 5 games, or like 1-7, 2-6. Like, he was a disaster in the playoffs. Now, yes, he's the LCS MVP. He had a great regular season, and Fudge maybe won't have quite so high of highs, but Fudge I don't think will have anywhere near as low of lows either, because Fudge was a beast in the summer at MSI and in the summer split of 2021 for Cloud9. So now they have a more diverse kind of threat in the top lane. They have a legitimate carry threat in the mid lane as now, and they also have Berserker and Blabber too. Like, this all of a sudden becomes a very, very scary Cloud9 team. This team is absolutely a threat to, win the LCS title in the summer, and if not, go to Worlds and actually do some damage. I mean, this team all of a sudden might be the best team in the LCS on paper. Now, we still don't know what they're going to be doing in the support position. Could be Winsome, could be Isles. They could look at import supports now, right? Because they have just one import in Berserker. Jensen's a resident, Blabber's a resident, Fudge is a resident. So this opens up a lot of different support opportunities for Cloud9 if they do want to go import, maybe a big name import support or something like that. Maybe go, look at Korean support or who knows. But there's also the option of Sven, which people are really, really excited about. Again, Sven is still spamming support in EU West solo queue. I don't think anyone thinks that Winsome or Isles is like the long-term option. I think people think they both have potential and that either Winsome or Isles would be great options in Academy going forward for the future. But a team that's spending all this money on Jensen and doing all this stuff right now, I don't think makes sense. But all of a sudden, again, I love this pickup for Cloud9. Jensen needed to be in the LCS. It was an absolute damn shame that he was not in the LCS last split. He is one of the best mid laners in the West and potentially one of the best mid laners in the world. Again, I was very, and not just me, a lot of people were very impressed with his Worlds performance at 2021 Worlds. His regular season and his playoffs, like his LCS season in 2021 wasn't anything crazy. It was probably even bad, especially by Jensen's standards, but he still showed up when the team needed him most and had some crazy performances. And again, he's going to be a massive upgrade in the mid lane over Fudge. It's going to be night and day, and it's just going to give this team so many different options. And all of a sudden, if you start to have Blabber, great jungler, Jensen, great mid laner, Fudge, I think can be a great top laner and has shown he's a great top laner before. We know Berserker's a monster, and it's going to open up things for Berserker so much more. The more carry threats you add to this team, that's going to... Teams aren't going to be able to focus in on Berserker. He's going to have more room. I think this roster is about to be set up so well. And yes, Jensen can be a carry and, he can be a threat and stuff like that, but he also can play facilitative as well. Jensen, plays a little bit of everything, plays all the different styles. He's played with Blabber before, and, he's played stuff like, like Zillion in the mid lane to enable Blabber to go crazy on Olaf and stuff like that. So it's not like Jensen is one-dimensional by any means. I just think this is so cool. Again, we don't know who they're going to be going with support just yet, but also this is an interesting on the other end of like, hey, any other teams that were potentially looking at Jensen, like TSM maybe had some rumors of Jensen and stuff like that. This is them taking one of the best players on the market away from some of their rivals and some other teams as well. Also, Jensen had talked about how he would potentially maybe want to go back to Europe at this point, and this is awesome to keep this guy in the LCS. Again, he's going to make Cloud9 better. He's going to make all the other mid laners in North America better by just getting to practice and play against him. He's going to make the league better. But all of a sudden, you got to start worrying about what's going on, because now there is 4 legitimately good teams in North America: C9, EG, 100 Thieves, and TL, and at least one of them is not going to be going to Worlds. So that is very, very scary, and that also starts to put a lot more pressure on EG. Are you going to be able to replicate what you did in spring and summer? 100 Thieves, are you guys going to bounce back and be a strong team in summer of 2022? And TL, hey, you guys were just the 3rd place team. You might be the 4th place team now. I don't exactly know what's going on. But man, LCS Summer 2022 is going to be fun. I wasn't expecting this news today. I did not think it was going to be C9 Jensen. But I'm damn excited, and congrats to Cloud9. I think this is an awesome deal that they got done. Again, we don't know like the specifics or the money or anything like that, and again, we still don't know who the support's going to be, but this is a huge pickup, absolutely huge pickup, and if people were down about them for kicking Summit or getting rid of Summit or Summit leaving, sending Fudge back to top lane, I think they're going to be re-excited by this all over again. Pretty much over this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this pickup. You think it's a good move for C9, bad move, somewhere in between? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.